everyone, my name is Sarah and I'm a registered clinical counselor in the province of BC and manager of mental wellness programs at the YMCA of Greater Vancouver. Thank you for joining me in this first video of a series called YWellness. This series will be a total of 8 short videos, and I encourage you to watch all of them in order from start to finish in order to get the most out of this content. All of the YWellness videos will be focused on providing education and information from acceptance and commitment therapy, also known by its short form ACT. ACT is an evidence-based framework for how we understand ourselves and our experiences, and it provides some tools and strategies, particularly when it comes to coping with distress. It's really common for us as humans to experience distress in many different forms, including anxiety, stress, worry, overwhelm, guilt, shame, loneliness. I mean, really the list goes on and on. And so in this video series, I'll be presenting some tools and strategies from ACT that you may find helpful. And if you're finding that your current coping strategies aren't working as well as they used to, or you're ready and willing to try some new strategies, then you might find this video series particularly helpful. So ACT has 6 main concepts, and in each of the following videos, I'll focus on one core concept. So in the next video of the YWellness series, I'll be giving an overview of the ACT concept of connecting with the present moment. And if you're familiar with the principles and practice of mindfulness, then this will be quite similar. And if you're not familiar with either connecting with the present moment or mindfulness, that's totally fine. You'll have something new to learn. In the following video, I'm going to focus on the ACT core concept of acceptance. Now, as you can imagine, this is a big part of ACT because it's in the name, acceptance and commitment therapy. And so ACT, acceptance is quite a different approach than what we usually use when it comes to our distress. So again, this might be a new framework and a new tool and strategy for you. In the 4th video, I'm going to be going over the ACT concept of diffusion. Now, this sounds a bit jargony, but really diffusion is about creating a different relationship with our thoughts when our thoughts are unhelpful to us. And so it's not necessarily about not having thoughts, controlling our thoughts, avoiding our thoughts. It's about shifting how we perceive and relate to our thoughts. And I'll provide some tools and strategies for how we might be able to do that as well. In the following video in the YWellness series, I'm going to be going over the observing self concept. And now this one can be a little bit tricky, but it's all about gaining a new perspective of ourselves, recognizing that there's this part of ourselves, and I often imagine the sort of zoomed out version of myself that can really be aware and observe our experiences without being in the middle, being consumed and overwhelmed by our experiences. Following that video, I'm going to present a video on values. Values is a really big part of ACT. It's about knowing and identifying what's really meaningful and important to us in our lives and the things that give us purpose. And then just following that video will be a video on committed action. Now, from an ACT perspective, values and committed action go hand in hand. Values are about knowing what's really important and meaningful, and committed action is about making decisions and engaging in behaviors and action steps in alignment with those values. So an example of that could be if one of my core values is adventure, which it is, I could think of a committed action step that looks like going to a new restaurant with a friend, or trying a new activity, or saying hi to someone that I don't usually say hi to in the elevator or at work. And you can see how these are really bite-sized chunks or decisions or action steps in alignment with values. It doesn't have to be like climbing Mount Everest or doing something big like that. So committed action and values will sort of begin to wrap up this series, and then there'll be one final video in the YWellness series, and that will just be about pulling all these 6 core concepts together: connecting with the present moment, acceptance, diffusion, the observing self, values, and committed action. So in each video, I'm going to present the core concept, provide a little bit of education and information, as well as tools and strategies. So how do you actually practice acceptance, or what is a diffusion technique, or how do you engage in committed action. So I'll be talking through all of those different pieces. At this point in this introductory video to the Y Wellness series, I'm just kind of giving you an overview of the journey that's ahead of us. So if you find yourself feeling a bit overwhelmed by all of this, if you're confused, that's totally fine. We're going to break this down into more bite-sized chunks in the following video. If you find yourself feeling skeptical, a little bit unsure of all this, that's great. I'm really going to encourage you in this video series to take the tools, strategies, and concepts that are really working for you, integrate those into your life, and to leave the ones that don't work for you. You are the expert of your own experience. You know what works best. So I encourage you to be willing and open to try these new tools and strategies. But in the end, you're really going to be able to figure out, hey, that one works really well, or diffusion works for me in this situation, but not in this situation. And then you can decide how to integrate these into your life. And if you're feeling ready and excited, that's great too. I might be providing some new information or offering things in a bit of a different light so that you can increase your learning. So with that said, I'm going to wrap up this introductory video to the Y Wellness series. Again, my name is Sarah. Really looking forward to the following videos. Thanks so much for tuning in.